Peppa Pig. Peppa and the Christmas Elf. It was Christmas Eve and Peppa and George were making cookies for Santa with Granny and Grandpa Pig. Are we being helpful? Asked Peppa, whipping the spoon around and getting the mixture everywhere. Oh yes, said Grandpa Pig, you're wonderful helpers. We're like Santa's elves, George, said Peppa. George giggled. Kiss my elf. I wish I could meet an elf, said Peppa. I bet they love adventures. Yes, agreed Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig told Peppa and George that, as they stirred the mixture, they could make a special Christmas wish. Kiss my dinosaur, cried George. Shh, George, whispered Peppa. You're not supposed to tell anyone your wish. George wished for a Christmas dinosaur. And Peppa wished for an adventure with a Christmas elf. Did you hear that? Asked Peppa. It was a jingly sound coming from outside. I think my wish has come true. Shall we go and see? Said Granny Pig. Ah, look at that, said Grandpa Pig when they got outside. There's an owl in the Christmas tree jingling the bells. Oh, said Peppa sighing. That's not my Christmas wish. Never mind, said Granny Pig. I'm sure you'll get your wish soon. Just then there was another sound. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Daddy! Cheered Peppa and George. Mummy and Daddy Pig had arrived to pick them up. Hooray! Are you ready to ride the Christmas train? Said Daddy Pig. Yes! Cried Peppa and George. Have fun! Said Granny Pig, waving goodbye. We'll see you later for our Christmas sleepover. As Daddy Pig started the car's engine, Peppa spotted something red peeking out from behind a tree. Wow! Look! She cried, pointing. A Christmas elf! Mummy Pig turned around. Ah, it's a little robin, she said. Santa has lots of elves, said Peppa. They can't all be at his workshop, can they? Probably not. Maybe you did see one, said Daddy Pig, winking. Right, let's go to the Christmas train. Hooray! Choo-choo! Cheered George. When they arrived at the Christmas train platform, Peppa and George were very excited. The train was decorated with lots of twinkly fairy lights. All aboard the Christmas train, Miss Rabbit called out. First stop the Christmas helter-skelter. Hooray! At the helter-skelter, Peppa looked up and spotted a red hat in one of the windows. Found you, Christmas elf, she cried. But when Mummy and Daddy Pig looked up, all they saw was Molly Mole wearing a little red hat. Merry Christmas, Peppa, cried Molly. Oh, Merry Christmas, Molly, replied Peppa. Everyone had lots of helter-skelter fun, but soon it was time to move on. Hooray! Follow me to the Christmas Ferris wheel, called Miss Rabbit. Right at the very top of the Ferris wheel, Peppa spotted something in a little red hat. Found you, Christmas elf, she cried. But when Mummy Pig looked, all she saw was Mr. Bull wearing a little red hat. Oh no! At the gingerbread workshop, Peppa spotted the Christmas elf behind the gingerbread house. Wow! Found you, Christmas elf, said Peppa. Look, Daddy! But when Daddy Pig looked, all he saw was a gingerbread house with a little red hat on top of it. The final Christmas activity was the sledging hill. As Daddy Pig and George whizzed off, Peppa spotted the elf sledging too. "Follow that elf, Mummy!" she cried. Peppa and Mummy Pig set off. Their sledge raced down the hill. The sledge was going so fast, Mummy Pig couldn't stop it. "Ah!" she cried as the speeding sledge zoomed up into the air and landed in a snow elf. "Who put that there?" said Mummy Pig, covered head to toe in snow. "It wasn't me, Mummy Pig," said Daddy Pig. "It must have been the Christmas elf." "Anyway, time to go," said Daddy Pig. "Granny and Grandpa Pig will be waiting for us." "Yippee!" cheered Peppa and George. When Peppa and George got back to Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, they put out some cookies for Santa, and then they got ready for bed. Peppa told them all about her adventures with the elf.
Wow.
"But I didn't even get to talk to the elf," she said. "Time to sleep, little ones," said Granny Pig. "May all your Christmas wishes come true." But Peppa and George didn't hear. They were already fast asleep. Very early on Christmas morning, Peppa and George ran in to wake Mummy and Daddy Pig. Then they ran into Granny and Grandpa Pig's bedroom and woke them up too. They all headed downstairs to find Santa had left presents for everyone.
"Kiss my dinosaur!"
cheered George. His Christmas wish had come true. Suddenly Peppa heard a sound. She looked up. Right at the top of the Christmas tree was a toy.
Wow!
"Christmas elf!" Peppa cried, jumping up and down. Peppa cuddled the Christmas elf. "Thank you for the adventure," she whispered. Peppa's Christmas wish had come true too. Mummy Pig took the elf's hat off and secretly put it on Daddy Pig's head. "What's that?" asked Daddy Pig, reaching up and finding the hat. He looked over at Mummy Pig. "It wasn't me," said Mummy Pig, smiling. "It must have been the Christmas elf." Peppa loves her Christmas elf. Everyone loves Peppa's Christmas elf. The end. Peppa Pig and the Christmas Surprise. It's Christmas morning and Peppa and George are up early. They wake up Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig. Then they jump on Granny and Grandpa Pig's bed. "Wake up!" says Peppa. Downstairs, Peppa and George look under the tree. "Santa was here," says Peppa. There are presents for everyone.
Hooray!
Mummy Pig gets a new hat.
Wow!
George gets a train. "Ooh," he says. Peppa gets a rocket. "Vroom," she says. There's a laptop for Granny Pig. Daddy Pig gets a pair of socks. Grandpa Pig's present is in a very big box. "I wonder what's in there," says Peppa. Grandpa Pig opens the box. It's a drone.
Wow!
Grandpa Pig has always wanted a drone. Everyone goes outside to try Grandpa Pig's present. They can watch where the drone is flying on the controller. Look, says Peppa. There's Mrs. Duck. Hello. The battery's running low. Don't worry, the drone will fly home, says Grandpa Pig. But the drone flies away. Oh no! It thinks home is the North Pole. Peppa and George watch on the controller as the drone flies. I see Madame Gazelle skiing, Peppa says. Ski, says George. Look, she says. Danny, Zoe and Pedro are sledding. There's an ice skating party, Peppa says. Wow. And there's a snowman. The drone flies over a snowy hill and past the zoo. Penguins, says Peppa. Yay, says George. The drone must be close to the North Pole, says Daddy Pig. There's a polar bear. Finally, the drone reaches the North Pole. What's this? Says Santa. Grandpa Pig is sad to have lost his drone. Come on, says Mummy Pig. It's time for Christmas dinner. Just as they are eating dessert, someone is at the door. It's Santa. Hello, Santa, says Peppa. I've come to bring back Grandpa Pig's drone. I decided not to come down the chimney this time. Grandpa Pig's drone will fly again. Thank you, Santa, he says. Ho, 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 says Santa. Merry Christmas, everyone. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve, and Peppa and her friends are very excited. Hello, children, says Madame Gazelle. Today we are going to talk about the different ways of celebrating Christmas. Hooray! Everyone cheers. Peppa and her friends love Christmas. Some families have big feasts on Christmas Eve, says Madame Gazelle. We do that, cries Rebecca Rabbit. Wow! Fantastic, says Madame Gazelle. What do you eat? Lots and lots of carrots, replies Rebecca. Madame Gazelle asks if anyone puts up a stocking on Christmas Eve. Yes! Everyone cheers. Well, she says, some children leave shoes out instead. I want to do that, gasped Gerald Giraffe. I've got big shoes. The children are surprised to learn that some families have porridge for lunch on Christmas Eve. Porridge, says Danny Dog. For lunch, gasps Zoe Zebra. Yum, shouts Freddy Fox, rubbing his tummy. In some places, they celebrate by singing carols, says Madame Gazelle. Wow! Mandy Mouse grabs a microphone and starts to sing very loudly. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Thank you, Mandy, says Madame Gazelle. And some families, continues Madame Gazelle, wrap up books they have read and give them to family and friends. Ooh, gasped Peppa. I like that idea best. Daddy, cries Peppa as soon as she gets home,
I'd like to wrap up my books and give them to everyone.
Lovely, says Daddy Pig. When?
Tonight,
says Peppa. I see, says Daddy Pig, smiling. Peppa runs to her bedroom to find some books to wrap.
This one's for Grandpa, this one's for Pedro.
Suddenly it starts to snow.
Oh no, gasped Peppa. How will we deliver books in the snow?
Don't worry, says Mummy Pig. I have an idea.
Hooray!
Soon Daddy Pig is pulling a sledge covered in Peppa's books.
Wow! First stop, Granny and Grandpa's house.
Cheers, Peppa. Granny and Grandpa Pig are delighted with their books.
What a special Christmas Eve,
says Granny Pig.
Wow.
Thank you, Peppa, says Grandpa Pig. Daddy Pig trudges through the snow to all of Peppa's friends' houses.
Last stop, the hospital,
calls Peppa.
Pedro has hurt his leg and a special book to read will cheer him up.
Peppa gives Pedro Pony and the doctors and nurses a book each. What a thoughtful gift, says Nurse Fox.
Thank you, Peppa, says Pedro. I feel much better now.
When they get home, tired Daddy Pig picks up a mince pie.
Can we deliver books next year?
Asked Peppa.
And the year after that?
We'll see, says Daddy Pig. But there's still one book left this year.
It says it's for me,
gasped Peppa, unwrapping it. Daddy Pig chuckles. Perfect for a special Christmas Eve bedtime story.
Hooray!
Cheers, Peppa.
This is the best Christmas Eve ever.
Merry Christmas. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.